We're over here, guys. Wow, look at that. Yeah, I bet you didn't see that coming. I'm over here now. I know, I was over here earlier, but now I'm over here. Where am I going to be next? Let me know in the comments section below. Do you think I'm going to be down here? Do you think I'm going to be up here? Or do you think I'm going to be right back over here? I really don't know, but wherever you guys want me to be at, that's where I'll be. Coming in upside down? Who knows? But that's just the kind of excitement that you should be wanting to expect here on WILFRED Woes on TMT. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. I have definitely been enjoying making these videos for you. I know it's been some time that we've been talking, but bam, look at that, 2 videos in one day, possibly a third one after this. What? TC, what are you doing to us? You gave us too much at once, too much to watch. I'm sorry, especially if you also follow the TC Talks. You got 5 videos to watch. It's okay. I kept them all about 10 minutes just for that reason. Not trying to take up your whole day, not trying to bombard you with too much content, but still nonetheless trying to keep it entertaining for you guys nonetheless. So without further ado, let's dive into this episode of WILFRED Woes, and I'll see you on the other side. So with this episode, episode 7, it is called Pride. So we start off in this episode with Ryan and Kristen at Ryan's house. Kristen, if you guys don't remember, is Ryan's annoying sister. Probably the worst sister in the world. Kind of reminds me of a certain someone, but you know what? We're not going to say who necessarily, but I think I've implied who enough. But without further ado, let's dive a little bit more into that backstory. So they're at Ryan's house, and Kristen goes, "Why is it so hot in here?" Kind of what I'm thinking right now, because my AC isn't on because I'm trying to give you guys the best audio quality possible with a smartphone microphone. But anyway, like I was saying, Kristen asks why it's so hot, turns on the AC after Ryan says it's broken, and wow, lo and behold, it is not broken. Apparently Ryan is having some money issues. Kristen says, "Hey, I could help you out. You just need to be able to tell me how much money you need, and you need to be willing to ask for my help." Ryan, being way too prideful, says, "Oh, no, I can't ask you. I just can't do it." Doesn't want to talk about the money issues with Kristen. Eventually, Kristen leaves. The second she leaves, Ryan goes ahead, turns off that AC, and goes to say to WILFRED, "Hey, I'm going to the mall, getting some free AC." And WILFRED comes with him. On the way there, he's explaining to WILFRED how he might need to get a job. WILFRED says, gives a remark about, who should be working jobs to Ryan, and basically tries to dissuade him from getting a job. Instead, he decides the right course of action is to try to get Ryan into a car accident, and that is exactly what ends up happening. Ryan ends up sideswiping another vehicle, and the lady gets upset. Ryan doesn't have insurance, so he would have to go to the woman's office later on to kind of work out a deal. During this accident, though, we see that WILFRED is really into this stuffed giraffe. So that starts to spark the question as to, did WILFRED do that just to be able to see that giraffe? Earlier on in the episode, WILFRED was telling Ryan about the relationship problems he's been having with Bear, his stuffed animal lover, quote unquote, and now we see him with Raffi. Now, WILFRED tries to set Ryan up on a date with this woman, and Ryan begrudgingly kind of goes on the date because WILFRED brings up the point, hey, if you don't go on this date, guess what? You're going to have to ask your sister for the money, and you don't want to do that. And Ryan's pride kicks in, and he's like, "You know what? You're absolutely right. We can't be doing that. We can't be asking Kristen for money. She can't have a leg up on me in that regard. I need to have the power in my life. I can't let somebody else have that power." So Ryan, says yes, goes through with this date, and it almost, it almost gets a little too much for Ryan. So the woman, obviously trying to make a little bit more out of the situation than just dinner, tries to get a little bit more romantic with Ryan, and Ryan is trying to avoid this circumstance at all costs necessary, going to the bathroom to try to avoid her, and eventually comes back to see her passed out. Now, the worst part of it is the following morning when apparently, where we find out, I should say, that apparently last night, Wilfred did something with that woman that made her very happy. We'll just say that. So that kind of gets Ryan off the hook, and everything seems all in well. Wilfred's like, hey, we got to go back later tonight. Want that encore performance with Raffi. And Ryan's like, nope, I got out of the woods. I don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to leave it at that. Turns out that Wilfred is able to get into Ryan's email, sends that woman a message saying, hey, we're going on another date tonight. Encore performance from last night, blah, blah, blah. So Ryan has to go back on that date. And I'll leave it there. I won't spoil the amazing ending. But basically, the whole idea of this situation, this episode, is to highlight the lengths that we'll go to protect our pride in a way. Because obviously we take pride in certain things. Like, obviously for me, I don't go around taking pride in my ability to maintain my nails or anything like that. You know, I bite them. I don't really do anything to maintain them or anything like that. My hair is just a mess. But I think, honestly, it looks pretty good. A little bit of a flow, not the perfect hairstyle, a little bit of a transition stage, but nonetheless, I like it. That's something I take pride in. Again, not the best mustache. Kind of need to trim it up a little bit, make it look a little bit nicer. But you know what Ron Swanson says: if you got to sculpt it, you shouldn't grow it. But honestly, I will look 12 without facial hair. So sorry, Ron, got to do it. But for the same thing, what I'm getting at here is, there's certain things that I'm going to care about and I'm going to weigh more than other things. So with that in mind, if I think that my hairstyle is the most important thing, I might neglect, maybe my eyebrows or maybe, my facial hair a little bit much, and I won't groom it to the attention that it needs to in order to look its best, right? In the same way, there are certain actions we'll take to protect certain qualities of ourselves. So, maybe because our mom, I don't know, maybe somebody said a yo mama joke and you're really attached to your mother and you're not going to take that. So, you'll overreact to a yo mama joke and now you're kind of a laughing stock because everyone's like, ha ha ha, that guy took a yo mama joke too seriously. But at the same time, you're sitting there like, no, you're not going to insult my mom. I love my mom a lot, and that's the one thing I'm not going to let you talk about. You could talk about me, you could talk about my Uncle Buck, but don't you dare talk about my mom, is how I see it. And while, at the one hand, it did sacrifice the view that, maybe classmates or coworkers had on you or the hypothetical individual that I'm talking about, it still gives him the pride and his personal satisfaction of protecting his mom's name, if that makes sense. So in that same way, we see Ryan battling with that same thing. At what level is he willing to surrender and say, okay, Kristen, I need help? Is it going to be with this woman? Is it going to be with the bills? What is it going to take for him to be like, you know what? I do need help. And realizing that it's okay to need that help because, hey, you've been out of a job, you've been going through some mental issues, you've been trying to get back into the saddle, and hey, like we said about in last episode, you've been growing. You've been doing a good job of being able to stand up for yourself and kind of just be more respectable and respected by other people. So with that in mind, I think it's important to recognize that, there's certain levels to this issue. So for me, if I was Ryan, I probably would have given in a lot sooner because, there's so much badness that has happened to Ryan at this point. There's so much that he needs help with, especially just financially. Like, forget all the other stuff. Forget what ends up happening towards the end of this episode. Forget about, the relationship between Ryan and Wilfred. Forget about Ryan staring at his neighbor in last episode. All that disgusting stuff, all that annoying, weird stuff, forget it. Just think about all the financial problems that Ryan has to be facing right now, not having a job, burning through his savings, and being late on, rent and low on cash. So, with that in mind, if he was just able to swallow his pride and talk to Kristen, all of these issues would have been solved immediately, and perhaps that car accident never would have happened. Meeting that woman and having to go on a date possibly would have never happened. But because Ryan was too prideful, prioritized that over his well-being, over all and anything else, it came to bite him in the butt, and he had to end up doing a bunch of stuff that he didn't like. And that's just the question. What are you willing to go through to be able to not do, to be able to maintain that pride? I think it's a great question. I think it was presented in a beautiful way, and especially if you watch to the end, it's a great circumstance where you really do see what I'm talking about. It is exemplified perfectly. You just have to see it to get it, because seriously, it is funny. It is a perfect way to summarize what I'm talking about. So I'll leave it to the episode, and I'll leave it up to you to go see that episode. Again, series is on Hulu right now. Could also buy it on YouTube as well. This has been TC with WILFRED Woes. Like, share, and subscribe. Let us know what you think about the video down below. Until next time, stay classy.